Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, back with a brand new video, guys. Today, and also, I'm doing a little bit of this. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are back with a brand new video. Today, we're going to be talking about something slightly different, okay? Now, I was going to do a really, well-edited video for this one, but I thought it was a subject line that could be taken in two different ways, right? The first one would be, very straightforward, but the other one is a little bit of a rumor type thing, so you may be a little bit confused what I'm talking about, but if you read the title, this video is a little bit of a mixture, right? Between a concept rumor, as well as a little bit of a subject I want to bring up myself, which is, which Pokemon is Ash Ketchum? You know, Ash, your boy Ash, who's been, with us through, thick and thin from so many generations now, from Generation 1 till Generation 7 now, which one of these starter Pokemon from the Galar region, from Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, which of those will be his main starter Pokemon in Pokemon, in the Galar region once we get to that anime, right? Because we know that we're going to be getting the Pokemon anime popping up in the Galar region about the same time the games come out, because that's what tends to happen, right? The Sun and Moon anime is now running its final course, right? It's running through the last-ditch effort, right? It's just going through those last few episodes. We'll get, it's kind of starting to, it's starting to feel like, the ending is coming very soon. That's how it feels like at the moment. And it makes sense, right? The anime is meant to be ending, meant to end sooner or later. And it's not meant to be going for, infinite amount of time. It's supposed to move over to the next generation and start doing another anime for that now. And that's Galar region, okay? So, big question, like I said, though, is which of the starter Pokemon is Ash going to choose? Because for each generation, Ash always has at least one of the starter Pokemon of that generation with him on his journey. So what I want to do today is discuss a rumor that's popped up, a actual concept art rumor of how Ash is going to look like in Pokemon, Sword and Shield, or in the Galar region, how he's going to look like, there, as well as my opinion and my kind of outlook on which Pokemon he's going to choose and how far that Pokemon's going to evolve as far as, we can go for now. But let's start with the actual, first thing here, which is going to jump over here and, of course, here you have the images of the Pokemon, your home dogs. Let's just get rid of those for a minute, right? So let's pop this up first, guys. So this popped up not too long ago, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think this is a leak, okay? People have been telling me, this is a leak. Look at this, look at Ash, look at all this, blah, 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 blah. This is probably not a leak, guys. This is just fan-made. But I got to say, though, I love it. It just genuinely looks really, really cool. Now, first of all, again, like I said, this is a little bit of a rumor type video as well, because, again, this popped up and people are saying this is, oh, look at this is like a leak or whatever. It isn't. How do I know this? The design they're using here is the one used for the male character from the actual games. And, why is that important? Well, because, they're kind of just copying what they've seen from that, right? I mean, and also the art style just doesn't look reminiscent to the one that they usually use. It's really cool and really well made. I've got to be honest. Whoever drew this, I'm not sure who made this. If you were the person who made this, feel free to email me about it. I'd love to know, who made this. I can make sure to link back to you and check out your other stuff as well, because I'd love to take a look at your work. But as for this though, there's a lot of weird issues with it. So I'm gonna break this image down first because that just seems like the easiest thing to start with. So let's start with that first. First of all, we've got the big image of Ash right here, as you may see. It looks clean. The outfit he's wearing there kind of reminds me of the black and white one for a minute. I'm not sure why. I think if we look at Ash Ketchum all outfits, I think we can kind of see what I'm talking about. Because it kind of reminds me of that one a little bit, like the black and white one. Slightly reminds me of that. And also maybe even a little bit of the, Sinnoh one. I guess a little bit of the Sinnoh one. Not very much like the, some people said X and Y. I don't think it looks very much like the X and Y. I think it's way too different, to be considered even close to that. So let's just get a little quick screenshot here, just kind of up on the screen, guys, and see what I'm talking about, because it should be getting the point across a little bit better to you all. So there you go. Here is Ash in all his other generations. And if you do a comparison right here of the one we see on the right side, it's very similar to the one in black and white, but not exactly the same. The black and white one has doesn't have those white stripes, but rather yellow stripes. And it looks far more like a hoodie, while this looks far more like a jacket, almost a short sleeve jacket. And that down there looks like, a hoodie, so to say, because it's got an actual hood on it. This one doesn't seem to have a hood. But it also looks very much more reminiscent to the Sinnoh one as well. So, I don't know. It's a cool design, though, to be frankly honest. That's the first thing you'll notice from this one. Next point here, which is, I really want to point this out. But, dude, look at Grookey right there, man. Just kind of, destroying a rock or something with his stick. And it is so adorable. I don't know what it is about me, when I see this. But dude, it's so cute, man. It looks so adorable, dude. It's just, like whacking this thing with like his freaking stick. It's adorable. It looks so freaking cute. I mean, look at the monkey, dude. Look at the little monkey. He's so adorable. And then, of course, you also have Pikachu kind of like sleeping, and you got like Soul right to the other side here. I think are they sleeping inside of the hat that he's wearing, which is the hat that I think the female character wears. Actually, no, the male character and the female character, I think. No, the male character wears this hat in the actual trailer, if you guys have seen that as well, while the female character wears like a beret or whatever. But yeah, you got that, so you got them, you know, chilling over there, and you got, of course, Ash up here yelling, with that hat on, and you'll notice that, for some reason, here he's wearing the hat that you see on the male character from the actual, you know, from the trailer, as well as the shirt that the character from the trailer is wearing, while on the other one over here, he's wearing a different shirt, and also has that hat on. Again, weird. And you can also see he's got on the bottom image over there, you also have Ash kind of like with a score bunny chill on his back. So, again, fake image. I don't think this is a real one, but it's a cool concept for what Ash could look like in this upcoming generation. It's a kind of a cool concept ID for what he could be like. So I thought it'd be worthwhile taking a look at. Now let's talk about the other home dogs, which is these boys right here. So these lads have they have a goal, okay? And that goal is to become Ash's starter Pokemon, so they can lose in the Galar League. You all know how it works. But ladies and gentlemen, we got Sobble, we got Skullbunny, and we got Grookey. And I can't believe I actually learned the names finally. And I mean, it's been a month now. I finally know them. So these bad boys right here are pivotal to his journey, and one of them will be the most pivotal one. But if you go back to, like, actually check out, like, what Pokemon Ash has used, it's a little bit of a cluster hell, because if you count the actual Pokemon he's used in each generation, it's a little bit too many. I'll be honest and say it's a little bit messy. But if you look at, like, his actual teams, for the most part, it's a little bit more concise. Let's just say it that way, okay? It's a little bit more concise. So let's just go up real quick here and look at the teams, because I got them kind of listed here, and we'll look through each generation, kind of like, you know, break down what he's going to use. So we're not going to include the temporary Pokemon, as those were, you know, or ride Pokemon, because you got like section here is for ride Pokemon Ash used, which includes Sharpedo, Tauros, Lapras, etc. Then you have unofficial Pokemon like Haunter, the egg that went to Larvitar, and you got Nebby as well included there. Given away, you had, I think, this section is for Pokemon Ash gave to another trainer to keep for themselves. Beedrill. You have Traded Away, which is Raticate and Apom. And then, of course, you have, like, released Pokemon, which is a big chunk of them, which is, you know, Butterfree, Goodra, Pidgeot, Lapras, Ash Greninja, Poipole. Jeez, in training, you had Primeape, you had Squirtle, big chunk of those. But when you look at the actual generational ones, though, it's a little bit different, though, because those teams are... I mean, how do I put this? Let's just like, you know, check this out, because it's going to be far easier. Let's see. So this is a far easier way to check it out, because if we look at throughout all the generations and all the teams, it's far easier to know. So Ash's Kanto team was Pikachu, Butterfree, Pidgeot, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and eventually Charizard and Squirtle. So that's the first generation, which of course had him get his hands on every single starter, which of course is not what they've done since then. Of course, you know, they don't go down that path anymore. Then of course, in Kanto, you had a few other Pokemon, Raticate, etc., but those are not starter Pokemon. The Orange Islands team was essentially the same, but then for Johto, again there, you'll notice he had Chikorita, which turned into Bayleaf, you had Cyndaquil, and you had Totodile. Again, every single Pokemon from that generation starters was in his team. For the Hoenn League, there, he actually, I think he only had Trico, which were, and eventually Grovyle. So that was a grass starter right there, okay? So far, you'll notice, throughout all these generations, you know, the first one here, like the third generation, the second generation, and the first generation, all through those, we've at least always had one grass starter. Then, of course, Battle Frontier is a little bit different. You know, that's where you get Sceptile fully evolved and all that, but he never gets any of the other starters there. And you go down to Diamond and Pearl. Here he has actually a little bit, you know, he's got, again, the grass starter, which is Turtwig, Growl, Torterra, okay? And then he also has Chimchar, Monferno, and Fernape, okay? So that, again, there he had two of the Pokemon. He had, again, the grass starter, as always. Seemingly, all of these as always seemingly has grass starter, and the fire starter as well. And... makes sense. Cool. Then we go over to Ash's main Unova team, which included Oshawott, Tepig, which turned into Pignite eventually, and then I think he didn't end up having... I mean, he didn't have Snivy, did he? No, he never had... No, he did have Snivy. He had Snivy, he had Tepig, and he had Oshawott. So he had all starters in Generation 5. And then in X and Y, he only had Froakie, which eventually got into, I think, eventually turns into... what's it called again? Freaking Greninja. So that's when he had only, seemingly, as far as I can tell here, only a water type. So, what does he have currently in the current generation? Well, he has a Litten that's evolved, and he has a Rowlet, right? So he has a Fire and Grass starter. Now, the last time we had a Fire and Grass starter was Generation 4. And what came after Generation 4 was him having every single starter Pokemon. And, you know, that was Generation 5 with Snivy, Oshawott, and Tepic. He had all of them seemingly, you know, in his main and Unova team. So, what I think is going to happen is, I think he actually will have all of these guys in the next generation. Now, why? Here's the thing, right? I think these Pokemon perfectly match up to work well with Ash. You got Grookey, which is a little bit of a dumb little, you know, cute little dumb little monkey that's easily going to be able to make a lot of mischief. I mean, look at the current, like, you know, series with Rowlet, right? Rowlet is adorable and dorky and dumb, and I think Grookey's going to take on that mantle, while, you know, Sobble is going to be his main Pokemon, which I think is going to be the one that's going to evolve, right? And I think the reason they would do that is because of the level of, like, hype that like Greninja brought on, you know, once like, you know, people saw that, and I think Sobble's gonna have his design similar to that, or if they follow the you know, the kind of like, whatchamacallit, the existing, evolutional kind of, pattern, which is to make all the Pokemon, you know, kind of in this pattern of like, oh, feminine, badass, and really, you know, sleek design, or like, you know, feminine, thick design, and really sleek design, right? So if they follow that, then logically, Scorbunny is going to be the next one to have a really sleek and cool design, and Grookey, I think, is going to be the one with the feminine design, and of course, Sobble with the more, like, bulky design. So I think the more likely thing to happen here is that if Sobble ends up not being too bulky and, you know, is looking more like Greninja, then that's going to be like his, you know, main Pokemon's going to fully evolve, but all the other two won't evolve. But I think the more likely thing, though, is I think this might be one of those times where the Fire type is going to have a full evolution, like Infernape had. I think this is going to be one of those moments. So I think the most likely of these to evolve fully, I think all three will be with him, okay? I think all of these three will be with him in his journey. But I think the one that will be fully evolved is going to be Scorbunny. And I don't think Grookey is going to evolve at all. I think Grookey won't evolve. As for Sobble, though, maybe second stage evolution, if we're lucky, maybe in fully evolved, who knows, but I think for sure Scorbunny will. You know, if they go and follow the pattern of making the next design for, you know, for the Fire type really sleek, you know, I mean, really sleek and thin and all that, and they make Sobble the really thick and, you know, thick boy one, then definitely I think Scorbunny is going to be the one that's going to, you know, choose. But again, that's just my little bit, you know, theory, my idea. Reasoning for this is because I think it matches up well with what they've done in the past, and I think it's time now for them to pull another, like, full evolution Fire starter. They did Grass for a long time, right? So I don't think they'll do another full evolution Grass type. And also I think, I don't know, like maybe Grookey just wouldn't fit him too well. Who knows? But, I mean, that's just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. And hope you guys did enjoy it, though. If you did, then drop a like down below. And thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name is RuffledRowlit, and I will catch you all in the next video. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gents.